Greetings, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of the Lyons Den Quiz League, season number 3. Yeah, maybe I should move my camera. Just give me a sec. Just so you can see everything. This is how the week looks so far. Week 2, I finished in 3rd place. Week 1, I finished in 6th. So very solid start to the season. And going to see if I can keep that up this week. As usual. The one at the top is a bot, by the way. Yeah, there's some sort of AI that they're having play the quizzes, I think just for fun. Anyway, I don't think the scores are actually counted, but week 3, starting with quiz number 1. Quarterback Johnny Unitas led what American football franchise to victory in Super Bowl V? Etc., etc. They won the Super Bowl in 2007 with Peyton Manning. This is the Colts, Indianapolis Colts, or Baltimore Colts at the time. Pretty easy, but again, this is an international audience, so I'm sure most Europeans aren't gonna know this. But I think for an American who follows any football, this is pretty easy. Question 2: The Social Contract is by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and then the artist is Henri Rousseau. So these are both named Rousseau. Question 3. In an iconic line from a 1999 movie, Lawrence Fishburne's character tells the movie's protagonist, "You're the blank blank," and the blanks are anagrams of each other. This one took me a while, but I did think of something eventually. I was trying to think of, oh my god, this microwave drives me insane. Okay, you guys can probably hear the beeping, so I'm going to pause the recording and unplug the microwave. Alright, that microwave is incredibly annoying. It, bugs me to, input the time. But then when I do it, a minute later, it's just never mind. You didn't put the time, so I'm going to ask for the time again. Whenever it wants me to put the time in the microwave, it, beeps incessantly. So it's completely insane. So every time I'm not using the microwave, I just have to unplug it. Anyway, question 3. I was thinking what could be in this blank, you're the blank, and I was like, you're the man, you're the guy, you're the one, and then I realized, wait a second, you're the one. I was trying to anagram these things to try and make a reasonable second word, and I realized one anagrams to Neo, which is the main character from The Matrix, so I figure that's probably what's happening. I have seen that movie. It was a while ago, so I don't remember the line, but I think it makes a lot of sense. I also don't know who Lawrence Fishburne is, but I think this is just surely the best guess I can make here. Question 4. The Brat Pack were a group of young actors who appeared in coming-of-age films like The Breakfast Club. What actor was sometimes considered a member of the Brat Pack and then fell out due to drug problems and then returned in the early 2000s? My guess here is Emilio Estevez, because I know he's in The Breakfast Club, and I think he's considered a part of this group, although I'm not completely sure. But I honestly feel decently confident about that, just because I feel like this is something I've heard of before. So question 5, work of literature written around 1000 called The Pillow Book, chronicles the musings of a real-life court lady in Japan. The author's Sei Shonagon, I think. It's one of those famous sort of classic Japanese works. And then finally, question 6 asks about The Prince by Machiavelli, which is spelled differently here versus here, but Benny is going to roll his eyes so hard when he sees the video. Me calling out silly, tiny spelling mistakes. It's in my nature, man. I don't know. Also, where's the accent, bro? Anyway, question 6. I don't know the answer to this. Machiavelli focuses on 2 emotions a ruler can evoke in his subjects to make them obedient, one negative and one positive. I figure fear might make someone obedient, and then the other one might be what can you evoke in a subject? Admiration, I think, was the one that I came up with, but I have no idea. I haven't heard of this, so, I've heard of The Prince, but you know what I mean. So, I'm wondering, I feel like Japan might be a decent thing to enhance, because I feel like The Pillow Book is not super well known, and it's also there's not a lot of information in this question. You kind of just have to know what it is. I think these ones, Rousseau, there's 2 ways into this, so I feel like that's kind of gettable. And then number 1 is again, non-Americans won't get it, but all the Americans will. So I figure 5 is probably the best thing. So I'm going to enhance 5. Sorry if you can hear the background noise here. Let's see how we did. What? See, what even counts here? Like, there's a little bit of a wheel in that one, and then there's like a tiny little bit sticking up here. This is so stupid. Like, they should make it more obvious. I don't know. Fear and love. That makes more sense. Japan, Robert Downey Jr. Okay. Well, that's tough. I don't know why I was confident that it was Emilio Estevez, but it wasn't. But Colts is correct. Rousseau, 1, Neo, and Japan. I'll take it, and I enhanced number 5, so I think that's a solid enough performance on the first quiz. So let's move to quiz number 2. Goncharov is a non-existent film that started as a joke in 2022, and then people actually made plot details about it. Stars Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and was directed by what director? I have literally no idea. I've heard of this, like, I've heard people mention this before, but I have no clue on any details, so I'm just going to guess, I'm going to guess this guy for no particular reason. I'm just picking a random director. Question 2, drop bears are fictional animals that dwell in trees and attack unsuspecting Australians. So this is based on the koala. It's a very sort of funny myth. Question 3, Potemkin village refers to a facade that disguises something's true nature. Supposedly Potemkin built fake riverbank settlements that would impress what historical figure? I don't know. But like Potemkin presumably is Russian, and I'm thinking maybe the person touring the area is a Russian leader, and it would make sense. It says your answer should include more than just a single first name. So it's like, it's going to be like Nicholas II, Catherine the Great, Peter the Great, Alexander the whatever. Something like that. The problem is I have no idea which one. So that's a bit annoying because there are options here. I figure I should probably just guess the most famous one, maybe, which is probably either Catherine or Peter. But I can't decide which one. I don't have a mental timeline for this kind of thing. Because I don't know when Potemkin was around. So, I mean, for that matter, I don't really know when Peter and Catherine were around either. I want to say Catherine is later, but that doesn't really help at all. So I'm gonna come back to that in a sec. Question 4. This one I thought about for a while, and I finally came up with an answer that I think is reasonable. I was really confused because I just didn't really know what was going on. But anyway, due to misunderstandings perpetrated by early Hollywood about statuettes from the Congo region, high-ranking religious figures have had to fervently deny that what objects were ever used for any kind of supernatural torture. So I was like, religious figures, like, I was thinking it could just be like an African, like a religion in Africa, but like I couldn't really think of anything. And then I was like, could it be some sort of like syncretic religion that came from Africa and is now practiced in like the US or somewhere like that? And I thought of like Santeria and like voodoo and stuff. And then I realized, wait, could it be like voodoo dolls? Because those are objects that are associated with a religion that came from Africa originally. I don't know. Like, this seems like an okay guess to me. It's a total guess, but I feel like it makes sense. So I'm just going to go with it. Question 5, in what skiing event did American athlete Elizabeth Swaney compete at the 2018 Winter Olympics? Despite having minimal experience in the sport, which is hilarious. She attempted almost no tricks as she skied down a 600-foot chute at an 18-degree pitch. So I was trying to figure out what was, like, I was just thinking through, like, skiing events here. I was like, it could be, like, the downhill, but that would probably be a lot longer than 600 feet and also steeper. And it's probably not like a slalom or anything like that because it's like a chute, and I wouldn't describe that as a chute at all. So chute, I'm just thinking, is probably like a half pipe. If anything, 600 feet seems long to me for a half pipe, but maybe half pipes are really just that long. I don't have much of a sense. But I think this is reasonable, and it's the best guess I can come up with. And then question 6, I have no idea what's happening here. What kind of object, which is often held in a biddle grip or mechanic's grip, can be used to make people believe things that aren't real. Like, what? I mean, believing things that aren't real, like hypnosis? Like, is this like that spiral that they have in movies that they like put in front of people's eyes that like make them, you know, hypnotized? Like, I don't know. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, there's no way the answer is like hypnosis spiral, but like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I thought about this for a while and I just couldn't think of anything. Like, I'm just gonna go with, this is such a stupid answer, but I just don't have anything better than this. I'm so lost here, and I'm probably gonna facepalm when I see it, but I can't think of what's happening here, and I've never heard of any of the terminology in the question. So the final one, I'm just gonna have to pick a Russian ruler here, and I'll probably go with which one? I feel like I either go Peter the Great or Catherine the Great. Who would be touring? I mean, it really could be either one. I don't know. We'll go Catherine. I feel very unsure about basically all of these questions. Koala is correct, but the others? 1 is a guess, 3 is a guess, 4 is probably right. Honestly, I'll probably enhance 4 because 2 seems too easy, and 4, I feel like that makes sense, but maybe not. I don't know. Half pipe is a guess. 6 is just wrong, I think. But I'm just gonna have to submit and move on with my life here. This is a really tough quiz. Yeah, let's just see how it goes. Okay. At least that one's easy. We have Martin that's actually right. Koala Bear's Catherine the Great. That's insane that I got 5, by the way. What? I was just like, I just picked a director who like directs that kind of thing, like a mafia type movie. Seemed like Martin Scorsese made sense, at least for that. Catherine the Great was correct. Half pipe was correct. That's crazy, dude. And then 6 is a deck of cards. So I do feel incredibly stupid for missing that now, because like using, you know, making people believe things that aren't real, like that's what magic is, right? Like, I don't know how magic didn't even cross my mind. I was just like, I read that phrase and I was like, I just don't know what that even means, but that's so obvious in hindsight. That's a bit of a tough look. And also, why would you need different grips to hold the hypnosis spiral thing? That was a silly miss for me. But the rest, I mean, there was definitely some luck involved here, especially 1 and 3. Those did not have to be right at all. So at the end of the day, I think that's a pretty good result. In the film X-Men First Class, Kevin Bacon played Sebastian Shaw, the main antagonist. Anyway, Magneto or Magneto, I don't know, who is able, I think it's Magneto, but like I don't watch these movies, removes one accessory that Shaw was wearing, which blocks Professor X's powers. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'll just guess like a belt or something. I was just thinking, what's an accessory someone would wear? It could be a hat, it could be a belt, it could be a bracelet or a necklace I mean, it could be anything. But this, I mean, I don't watch superhero movies. Fassbender played a man named Edwin Epps in what movie, which stars this guy as this guy? This, I believe, is misspelled. Had to be called out. I think it's just North Up. But anyway, again, sorry to who's the quizman? Is it Benny again? I'm sorry, Benny. Yeah, this is 12 Years a Slave. This is a movie that I did see, and it was quite good. But that is what it's about. I don't know how to say this guy's name. I don't want to embarrass myself, but like Chiwetel Ejiofor or something. Anyway, question 3. Ejiofor starred alongside Thandiwe Newton in the movie Half of a Yellow Sun, an adaptation of a novel by what author, who also wrote Americana and We Should All Be Feminists? This is Adichie. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, I think is her full name. But I'm going to not write that because I'm scared of misspelling it. But this is, I think, pretty hard. And it's like you either know it or you don't. But this is just a name that I know from Quiz Bowl, etc. Question 4, featured alongside a bevy of actors, including Jessica Chastain in the music video for Family Feud. A song by what pair of artists? Appears in the album 444. One of them apologizes to the other for his shortcomings as a husband. So I'm thinking, what's a pair of artists that is husband and wife? And I was just thinking about this for a while, and I didn't really come up with much. I did come up with one thing that I feel like is probably the answer, but I was like Captain and Tennille, Sonny and Cher, like, and then the only other pairing I could think of was Beyonce and Jay-Z. And this is like, I mean, it's also like Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, I guess, but like I don't think Kim Kardashian is really much of a musical artist, as far as I'm aware at least. So I feel like Beyonce and Jay-Z makes more sense. And I don't know, this feels like a modern thing, so it's not going to be one of the ones I mentioned earlier because those are much older artists. So I'm just going to go with this. And yeah, question 5, Jessica Chastain acted alongside Emma Stone in The Help. Taylor also directed Get On Up, a movie starring Chadwick Boseman as what musician? I think Get On Up is like a James Brown thing. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but it's like the song that's like Get On Up. I think it's James Brown, I think that's his first name. His name's James Brown, I think. I don't know much about him or much about his music, but I think that's a pretty famous lyric from a pretty famous song. So I feel okay about that, but I might be confusing it with something else. And then Emma Stone, blah, blah, blah. Movie soundtrack includes Thievery Corporation's song, The Heart's a Lonely Hunter, which features David Byrne, who is the frontman for the Talking Heads. That's just... Yeah, I mean, I guess I just know the name of the lead singer of the Talking Heads. So I think I'm going to enhance number 3 because Adichie, I think, is not very easy. Number 1 is probably wrong. Number 4 might be wrong. The rest I feel pretty good about. So I think as pop culture quizzes go, this is pretty good for me. I'd say it's going well so far, all in all. Bridges. There's one. I think that's got one as well. And that one. And that one. All right. Helmet. Sure. 12 Years a Slave. Good. Adichie. Good. Jay-Z and Beyonce. James Brown. Talking Heads. Beautiful. 5 out of 6 on pop culture is fantastic and definitely above average for me. So I will take it. Question 4 is a media quiz. Thankfully, it's not pure pop culture this time. The images seen below are close-ups of artifacts found in what building? I mean, there's some Greek-looking thing. There's some Mesoamerican-looking thing. There's some Egyptian thing. And then there's like some writing that looks like hieroglyphics, which could be like the Rosetta Stone, I'm thinking. So like the British Museum makes sense because they, steal things from all over the world. So I think that definitely checks out. Question 2, the images seen below are close-ups of paintings by Seurat. He's notably a pointillist, as in like his paintings are made up of a bunch of dots, basically. The top right is definitely Sunday on Le Grand Jatte. The rest of them, I'm not sure what the paintings are, but they look very pointy, so I think Seurat is almost certainly the answer here. Question 3, this is that famous photograph that has all those physicists in it. And a photograph with 29 physicists in it that only has one woman from this era surely is Marie Curie. I can't think of who else it could possibly be. Maybe like Lisa Meitner or something, but I feel like Marie Curie is surely the most logical answer here. Question 4, this is the famous like Afghan girl from National Geographic, that famous Nat Geo cover with the eyes. But anyway, this is, I'm pretty sure, Afghanistan. And then we get to the ones I don't know. Question 5, close-ups seen here are from a certain television series. I have literally no idea what's going on here. In fact, I didn't even think about an answer to this one. This could be, I mean, this could be anything, as far as I know. So, it looks like some kind of like crime thing or something. I don't know. I'll go with like Dexter. Why not? Total guess. Question 6. Pictures seen below come from the interior and exterior of what building? Again, I don't know. This is interesting because it seems to have, I mean, it looks like it's a mosque, but the bottom right one looks like almost like a Greek column or something, which is sort of weird. I couldn't think of a good answer for this. Like, I'm trying to think of like the most famous like mosques, and I thought of the things in Istanbul, like the Blue Mosque and like the Hagia Sophia. I know the Hagia Sophia used to be like a church, so maybe it has some more European architectural elements. So this is like what I ended up deciding on, but I don't feel confident about that answer. But yeah, I think probably enhanced Syrah, because that feels non-trivial. The physicist thing, well, I don't know. There's a few things here that I feel like are decent answers, or decent, enhancers, but I'll go with 2. And let's submit that. It's just the bottom 4. Hagia Sophia is correct. Let's go. Sherlock. Oh no. Oh, that's tragic. That's tragic. I've seen Sherlock twice. Wait, oh no. What? What were the... Oh no. That's so sad. Why did I not recognize any of those pictures, man? I've seen that show twice. That's embarrassing. Okay, well, unlucky. Hagia Sophia was correct, which I did not expect to be, but maybe the clue was the European architectural element on top of all the more Arab-looking stuff. So that's another 5 out of 6, which again, for quiz 4 is, I think, pretty good for me. This is going well. I'm missing at least one every time, but I think it's going very well, all in all. Number 5 is a science quiz. The uppermost layer of the ocean is the epipelagic zone. The primary producers within the epipelagic zone are a category of organisms that are defined by being able to undergo what process? I don't know. The best answer I could think of was photosynthesis. I was just thinking, like, what are some processes that work, and I feel like that was the one that made the most sense in my head, but it's a total guess. I don't know what these things are or what the word is that's used to describe them, so I'm just gonna go with that, but who knows. Ocean acidification is occurring mainly due to humanity's frightening CO2 output. Corals and mollusks are primarily composed of what compound, which is also the main component of marble and limestone? I think this is calcium carbonate. I just know that as being the thing that's in limestone, so I think that's probably the answer. Question 3, the taxonomic class Chondrichthyes contains sharks, rays, skates, and a few other types of fish. Its name comes from the Greek ichthys, meaning fish, and chondros, meaning what material? I have no idea. Like, no idea. I thought about this for a while because it felt like something I should know. And I was thinking, like, hypochondriac, for example, is like someone who's afraid of getting sick, I think. But that didn't really get me anywhere. Like, hypo means like not a lot of, but or like away from, I don't know, but it's like the opposite of hyper, but I don't know what material would be associated with getting sick. Like, I just don't know. So I'm gonna try like skin. Is skin a material? Is skin a material? I feel like it's not. Skin fish? Okay, you know what? I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe like metal or something, because they're like shiny. Sharks are shiny, right? I don't know. I have no idea. I can't think of any other words with chondros in them, so I'm just kind of stuck. Horseshoe crabs are harvested for their blue blood that contains LAL. Blah, blah, blah. That technique only works on bacteria with what property that suggests they do not react to a namesake staining methods? This is like a Gram stain, I guess. I mean, it's the only staining method I've ever heard of. So like a Gram stain does not react, so it'd probably like Gram negative would be my guess. I don't know if Gram is like all caps or not, but I think it's just talking about a Gram stain. And I've heard the terms Gram positive and Gram negative, so it should be Gram negative. Question 5, as submersible engineers would know, the formula ρgh is used to calculate what quantity? This, I don't know. Rho is density, g is acceleration due to gravity, h is depth. Like, submersibles, obviously, submarines go way down underwater. And so my thought here was like pressure could make sense because like, you know, if you're going way down underwater, you need to be able to withstand massive amounts of pressure. So, you know, if submersible engineers would know it, then it makes sense. I feel like that's the only clue I have to go off of here. And I've never actually seen this formula before. So I can't really do anything with it. So I'm just going to guess pressure. And then name the lobe-finned fish that was brought to the world's attention in 1938 after being fished up off the coast, thought to have been extinct for 66 million years. This, I think, is the coelacanth. This is something, I don't know. I have no idea how to say that, by the way. But this is something that's come up in like Quiz Bowl before and like trivia leagues that I've done online and stuff, and people have like known what it was. And I was like, what the hell is that? Like, how do you know what this is? And they're like, oh, of course, it's the coelacanth. And I'm like, what is a coelacanth? But anyway, I ended up learning what it was roughly because a bunch of other people knew it and were like, why don't you know this random extinct fish? So now I know the random extinct fish. At least I hope it's the right random extinct fish. I hope there isn't another one. But I think the best enhance here is number 6 because I think it's not that easy. Maybe it is easy though. Maybe everyone just knows what that is. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and submit. And coelacanth is correct. Pressure is correct. Gram-negative. Photosynthesis, nice. Calcium carbonate, and then cartilage. Interesting. So cartilage fish. Oh, that makes sense. Don't sharks like not have bones or something? Like they only have cartilage? I feel like that's something I've heard of before. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do on that question is sort of remember that fact about sharks or whatever. Yeah, those fish probably don't have bones, which, yeah, that's reasonable. But photosynthesis, again, was a guess, so I'll take it. I even thought it could be phytoplankton, but like I even thought of the word phytoplankton, but it doesn't really... This word doesn't really evoke photosynthesis to me. Like phyto, maybe, but I don't know. It's still... I basically just told myself, I don't know what this thing is, so I'm just going to guess a process. And it worked out. I've had a lot of lucky guesses this week, so I'm very happy with how it's going so far. Another 5 out of 6, very, very solid. And then quiz 6 is about history of the world, I guess, or entire history of the world, I guess, or whatever it's called. That one YouTube video that gets recommended to everyone at some point. But it's been a long time since I saw the video, and it would have been nice if I was able to watch it recently because it would have helped a little bit with this quiz. But I think I can do a good job anyway, just based off of general historical knowledge. After a scene where the Indian spice trade is blocked from Western Europe, Bill sings, well, I guess we'll have to find another way to India as a boat sails south from Portugal, rounding the African continent on its way to Asia. Which explorer guided this voyage? So this is a 50-50 for me because I know that there are like two Portuguese guys who sailed around southern Africa, the Cape of Good Hope, etc. So there's Dias and there's Vasco da Gama, and I've been trying to remember which guy did which because like one of them like was the first to get around the Cape and the other one was like actually the one who went to India. I think the one who got to Asia was da Gama. Like I think Dias was like he was like the first guy to get around it, but he's like less famous now because he didn't make it all the way to India. But I'm not sure. It might be Dias, or it might be talking about the first expedition, not the second one. I don't know, but I'm gonna go with da Gama. It feels like a better guess because like there's a city in India. Actually, I just thought of this, but there's a city in Goa in India called Vasco da Gama. So that makes me feel a little better about my answer. Anyway, question 2. Persia just made Persia again, about the founding of the Safavid dynasty. Let's make it the other kind of Islam, the one where we thought the first guy should have been the other guy. It's talking presumably about Sunni and Shia. These are just the two main branches of Islam. It was like, what is it? It's Iran, which is like the Shia one. So, is Iran the Shia one? Yeah, yeah. So it's like, the Sunnis think that the first successor to Muhammad was like Abu Bakr or something, and then the Shia were like, no, it's Ali or something. That's about all I remember about that. Anyway, I'm just rambling. Question 3. Look who controls all the islands. It's the Mahajapit, Mahajahapit, Mapajahit, Mahapajit, Mapajahit, Mahajapahit. Anyway, a city on this island would later be known as Batavia under colonial powers. So Batavia is Jakarta, so the island would be Java. Question 4. In a scene from the late 1700s, a particular colonial territory is starting to like the idea of a revolution, especially the slaves who start killing their masters. So I'm thinking of a colonial territory, late 1700s slave revolts. This just makes me think of Haiti. So it's probably Toussaint Louverture, who is the guy who led the Haitian Revolution. Question 5. What Spain controls Cuba. Blame something on them and go to war. Blame the main on Spain. Anyway, Cuban War of Independence, as well as Spain ceding 3 territories to the USA. One of them was Guam. Name the other 2. I'm not sure. I feel like one of them is Puerto Rico, probably, because it speaks Spanish, so it makes sense. The other one I thought maybe is the Philippines, because I know that the Philippines used to be Spanish, and I think they belonged to the US for some time as well. What I'm worried about is that one of them is the Northern Mariana Islands. So I'm going to feel a bit dumb if that's one of the answers, but I feel like the Philippines was one of the things that got, changed hands during the Spanish-American War, so I think I'll go with Puerto Rico and Philippines for this. And then finally, in a scene about how the Ottoman Empire was built, territories in the Middle East were divided among European powers. Turkey makes a brand new Turkey. Ataturk became prominent in Turkey following his involvement in World War I battle on Turkish soil. The landing of Australians in New Zealand's? Would it be New Zealanders? Or is it really just New Zealand's? Anyway, in this battle, it's celebrated on Anzac Day. I don't know specifically what Anzac Day celebrates, but the World War I thing in Turkey that comes to mind for me is the Gallipoli campaign. What worries me is that it says battle, and it's called the Gallipoli campaign. I don't know if it is I feel like it is a battle, but it's not referred to normally as a battle, so kind of worries me a little bit. But I'm just going to say Gallipoli campaign, because I think that's what this is talking about, but there might be another Turkish battle that I can't think of, but this is the only thing that comes to mind for me. So I will submit these 6, and I will enhance number 4, because the Haitian leader is not particularly obvious, I don't think. Okay, that was wrong apparently. Surely that's right. Really? Dude, what am I even looking at here? See, does this count? See how there's a little bit of black here? Okay, thank you. Gallipoli campaign, Battle of Gallipoli, beautiful. Puerto Rico and the Philippines, nice. Toussaint, Sunni, and Shia, beautiful. 6 out of 6. Let's go. Okay, the ones I was unsure about went my way. I was reasonably confident about Gallipoli because it just felt like, what else is that going to be? But 5, I was not sure because I thought maybe NMI was in there, or maybe the Philippines wasn't a territory but something else. I don't know. I don't know what the heck I'm saying, but I'll take it. Solid. Finally, quiz 7. This is a current events quiz. I generally am quite bad at current events, but we'll see how this goes. I think it's decent but not great. On May 2nd, London held its mayoral election. That election saw what man win a historic 3rd term as mayor? I have no idea who the mayor of London is. I don't know why I would know this, but yeah. Succeeded Boris Johnson. We'll go with Jeremy Corbyn, because I don't know, he's a politician who exists. I don't think he's the mayor of London, but I have no idea. Question 2, on May 7th, a lawsuit was brought in U.S. court by TikTok, and what parent company? I don't know. I think TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, but I don't know what the parent company would even be. Like Alibaba or Baidu or something. Or WeChat. I mean, I don't know. Baidu's like a big company that is very far-reaching, so I'll just guess Baidu, but I'm sure it's wrong. Question 3, Christians celebrated what holiday on May 19th? Which occurs 7 weeks after Easter. There are so many random Christian holidays, and I don't know the names of all of them, but I was trying to think what this would be, and it said from the Greek for 50th. So I was thinking, what could the Greek for 50th be? And I was like, how do you say 50 or 5 in, other languages and stuff? And I thought of pent as a, penta, pentagon, etc. So I thought of that as a possible prefix, and then I realized, wait, the Pentecost is a thing. This is a guess, but I feel okay about it just because it starts with Pent for no other reason than that. Question 4, 2024 Formula One Grand Prix in what country was held? And then this guy won the race, becoming the first driver from this country to win the race since its third edition in 1931. So he clearly has a French name, and the most famous, I feel, Grand Prix in Formula One is probably Monaco. It's kind of cool if this guy's actually from Monaco, because I feel like you just don't... Monaco's so tiny, I feel like you don't hear about people from Monaco, like, because I feel like not only is it a tiny city that is a country, but also like most of its inhabitants are like billionaires from other places. So like I feel like, I don't know, I feel like people from Monaco are just not people you hear about very much. But apparently this guy's from Monaco, which is kind of cool. Question 5, on June 6th, what singer claimed the top spot on the Spotify Global Top Songs chart? Got her mainstream start as a Disney child actress, and then lists a couple songs I've never heard of. But I feel like this is Sabrina Carpenter, because I know that I think she was a Disney actress at some point, and I know that she released music recently because I've heard people talk about it. So I feel okay about this. It could also be like Olivia Rodrigo or something, because I think she also was a Disney actress. But this is the person I thought of, so I'm just going to go with it. And then finally, Jerry West died at 86. And then a picture of him is the basis for what graphic? This is the logo of the NBA. That notably features, a graphic that represents Jerry West. So, yeah. And then, as for what's to enhance, I think Monaco is very easy. Pentecost, I think, is right, but I think it's probably not that hard anyway. 1 and 2, I think, are wrong. 5 and 6, I don't know whether to enhance 5 or 6, because NBA logo is obvious to me, but again, people outside the US probably don't know this. But then again, what I'm worried about, 5 could be wrong. 5 could be wrong, so I'm going to enhance 6, because I feel like there's always a chance this is wrong. I feel okay about it, but I'm just not sure. And I feel like even if it's right, it's probably not that much harder than 6, so I think 6 is just safer. So that's what I'm going to go with here. Final CAPTCHA of the day. Okay, I don't know what happened there. I'm going to have to edit that out, because when I clicked submit, it didn't submit the form and then went to the top of the page and showed my email. So that's cool. Thanks for that, Google Forms. But I tried clicking submit again and it worked the second time. So sure. Anyway, 4 out of 6 as expected. I've never heard of ByteDance in my life. I have no idea what that is. Sadiq Khan I have heard of, but there's no way I'm pulling that name. But then the other 4 were rights, including Sabrina Carpenter. So happy with that, and that's going to do it for the week. Yeah, shame I'm going to have to worry about editing just because of that one silly thing that happened, but oh well, that's fine. I think that went pretty well, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not going to do as well as the AI, and I'm not going to do as well as a few of the people in here, but I think I'll probably be top 5, because I feel like all the quizzes went reasonably well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy as usual. I think this season has been going pretty well for me. Each of the weeks, none of them has been crazy good, but they've all been very solid. So yeah, I'm happy with the performances, and of course happy with the question writing as always. Looney and Benny are the best. So thanks once again to those two for making this league as awesome as it is. And I will pause the recording and then come back once my scores are actually on the leaderboard. Alrighty, week 3 has concluded, and I finished in a very solid 3rd place. Second week in a row that I've finished 3rd. So super happy, honestly, so far with the consistency this season. I feel like it's been a little bit better than previous seasons, which is surprising, because it honestly feels to me like I'm getting worse at trivia as time goes on, because I'm just forgetting things and I'm not doing as much of it these days. But hey, really happy with how it's been going in this particular league. So yeah, thank you to all the 73 people, I guess, who played well, 72 people and one bot who played this week. Appreciate you all as always. And again, thanks so much to Looney and Benny for the quizzes. Fantastic job as usual. And I will see you guys very soon for week number 4. But yeah, for now, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and until then.